Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Apples and Ginos Fantasy Hockey Podcast. This is week 14 of Trade Talks, and we are so back. My name is Brian. I'm joined by Evan and Ryan, and today we'll be rolling through some of your favorite trade targets. We'll provide some trade grades on some real trades, and we'll highlight some other players of interest in week 14 of your fantasy hockey season. Here we go.
All right. Hello, everybody. We are back. The trio has returned. Ryan, Brian, and Evan, or Brian, Ryan, and Evan, or Evan, Ryan, and Brian. Who knows? But we're back. How are you guys doing? I missed you guys.
Doesn't matter. We're back. I'm doing good. I'm fired up to get going. Evan, how are you?
I'm great, man. It's good to get the gang back together. You know, the prior episodes, they were good. It was good stuff, but it's not the same without us three together. You know, it really brings the whole room together when we're all in here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think like Brian, you crushed it with those other guys, and then I think me and Evan had 2 episodes without you where we were just at each other's throats and needed you there.
In a moderator, right?
Gloves were off.
Yeah. Brutal Wolf, welcome on in. He says, let's go. Yeah, I agree. Let's go. Let's get into some trade talks. Week 14. We'll bring you the newsies first. But yes, the boys are back. Brutal Wolf, you're one of the boys. Thanks for stopping by. So some newsies. We had Tristan Jarry on the Oilers. He was practicing, but he is still week to week. So I think they'll still struggle with Connor Ingram or Calvin Pickard. Maybe revolving starts. Maybe one of them will get hot and get the bulk of the starts. But for now, I think they are alternating because each goalie doesn't seem to be gaining the starting role as of yet. Adam Fox is placed on the long-term injured reserve. He's expected to miss another month. Yeah, which is a real bummer. And similarly, Igor Shesterkin is placed on the IR. Nothing pertinent, nothing concrete on the timeline front or exactly what's wrong with him, unless you guys saw something different today, but I'm pretty sure I'm in the dark. So we might find out more tomorrow. Jonathan Quick could be an interesting roster as a 0G option. Simone Nemec is set to return tomorrow back to cloudy the New Jersey Devils D situation, whether they go split power play, whether they change up the power play every night with Luke Hughes, Dougie Hamilton, and Simone Nemec there. But I do see Nemec as the third guy up. Evan, do you agree?
I don't know what they're going to do, man. Sheldon Keefe, 9-0, guys. 9-0 yesterday, and he left Markstrom in the net. That team is a disaster right now, and I want to apologize to all the listeners for trying to tell people to buy on Luke Hughes. I finally sold him in a spot, and it just feels good to have him off my team, honestly. That team is a train wreck right now. It's very possible they get it back together, especially if they make a coaching change or a big shakeup. But yeah, who knows? Simone Nemec is probably the PP1 tomorrow.
It doesn't make sense. Like it hurts. It hurts to watch.
Yeah. And Evan, I know you have Luke Hughes in our league too, and I was actually taking a look at the draft results the other day, just doing what I do, going and hating on myself of taking Braden Point instead of Martin Necas. You got Necas, and then you had like every one of your first 5 picks, I think, were just really great. Wyatt Johnston was in there, but then you had Luke Hughes, I think, in the as your 6th pick, maybe. And I was like, ooh, that's his only miss. He's not perfect.
Look. But you know what? I made up for it. I got Miro Heiskanen in like the 8th or 9th. So
I wish I had some of Heiskanen this year. Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was big on the Harley train, and
I think we all were.
So maybe we'll see.
You can't win them all, guys. That's the point of this is you can't win all your draft picks and the Devils this year. That's just it's unfortunate.
Evan, no. The answer, yes, you can win them all. That's why everyone comes to watch this, right? They want you can win them all. Yes,
You could. You just got to listen to certain people on certain episodes.
Yeah. Some people are right, some people are wrong.
All right. Finishing up this slide of newsies, Bo Horvat will join the Islanders on their road trip. So he may be back in a game or 2 or 3. We'll see. And with the Los Angeles Kings, Anze Kopitar is day-to-day. And Corey Perry got put on a non-roster list. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. Do you guys know the details of the Corey Perry situation?
They said it was to attend to like a family matter, like some family member stuff. But yeah, I was suspicious myself after the Chicago debacle last year. But I almost picked them up today in a few spots, boys. Dodged a bullet for the Wednesday Friday stream.
I picked them up.
Was there a Los Angeles Kings mom's trip recently?
Wow. Hopefully Corey Perry is an avid listener of the show. I can still remember when those memes were going around and some people were believing it. Amazing stuff. Fantasy hockey here. We got some comments before we get to the rest of the newsies. Lucio, dynasty question for Brian. I recently traded Ilya Vanel for Dixon Butts. Thoughts? Are those real people, Brian?
Yeah, they are for sure. A+. I love it.
Yeah.
Brian, is that more directed to you, probably?
I don't know. I think I'm trying to, read this slowly, but I don't think I should. Yeah. This is a family-friendly YouTube here. we got Bart Simpson in the comments.
Yeah.
I love
that. You're a censor with these comments here.
Guys, what the hell am I doing with Dahlin at this point? Never again. I think that's interesting because I drafted Dahlin in 2 spots, and it's certainly been disappointing recently, especially when the Sabres are winning. Mm-hmm. I'll throw it to you first, Brian. What do you think about Dahlin? I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I had him in a couple spots last year, and I felt the same way. It was like when he's at his low point, it's really low, and then when he goes off, it's across the board. All the stat lines are filled out. So I think with Dahlin, especially if their offense is humming, he's going to start clicking in, joining in the offense here, and the peripherals I think are going to come up a little bit too. So it's a frustrating hold, but I think long term you'll be happy with Dahlin.
Ryan.
Yeah, I'm, his goals are down, that's for sure. I think that can definitely come up. I do think his offense could come up from the 62-point pace he's on to more of a 70-point pace, but I've been saying it since the offseason. His peripherals went way down last year, and there's no signs to me of them returning, and so I wouldn't expect a big bump back for his periffs.
I think it's just surprising that Buffalo's actually putting up a bunch of points and goals and winning games, and he's just not a large part of it. I mean, honestly, even Tage Thompson, too, if you look at their numbers, it's kind of their offense is more spread out now, which is good for the team, bad for fantasy. But if I see one more Bowen Byram assist and not Dahlin, I will lose it. But he might be traded soon, so we'll be fine from that standpoint. Trying to swing 2-for-1 deals. There are some interesting ads on my waiver wire. McCann, Protas, Brandt, etc. Is Riley plus Nelson for Hintz a good deal to explore, even if Brock is my only Avs? 2 of 2. Goals, assists, power play, hit shots on goal plus minus, or thoughts on Leo Carlson plus Riley for Bratt? My fringe players are like Slav, Marchenko, Gunther, Trocheck, Wool. Not sure which trade targets to go after with these guys. I definitely wouldn't do Leo Carlson and Riley for Bratt. And in terms of Morgan Riley and Nelson for Hintz, I don't know. I mean, Brock Nelson is kind of stapled to that top power play now, and especially with Landeskog out, I'm not sure that I immediately jump on that. Ryan, what do you think? Either of those?
Yeah, I would do the first one. I think Hintz has a lot of upside for Dallas's top heavy team at the moment and the insane power play that he's stuck on. So I think Hintz has point per game upside where Nelson does not, even on Colorado's top power play. Colorado, if you don't know, it's not their power play that's making them the best team in the league. It's their 5-on-5 play, and they have one of the worst power plays, but some of the best 5-on-5 plays. And if they figure out their power play, they're probably an undefeated team.
Yeah. Brian, you?
Yeah, I would just echo what Ryan said. I'd probably do the first one, get Riley off the team. I would like hints. I'd like some hints just because of that Dallas power play, and I think hints is more likely to be stapled, so to speak, to that top power play than Nelson. Like the Avs throughout the year have shaken up that top power play, so even with Landeskog's injury, who knows? Nelson could drop off at any point, and I feel like I'd feel more comfortable with hints there.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are both right. I think I'm just I dropped Nelson in a spot. I think I'm just projecting, so that's good. That's good. All right, we'll finish up some more of the newsies here. Alex Lyon is on injured reserve, but Lindy Ruff said he could return in 7 to 10 days to muddy up the waters with the Buffalo goaltending situation. Alex Lyon has been pretty good of late, so that'd be not good for him. Bedard is officially day-to-day and on the ice today in a regular jersey. There's no official timeline of is he going to be back tomorrow or on Saturday, but it's looking closer and closer, which is very good for Chicago and some Bertuzzi and other owners. Mason Marchment's week to week now with an injury, which kind of sucks because he was doing pretty well for Columbus. But Monahan came back and scored a goal against me yesterday, so that's great. We got Landeskog set to miss multiple weeks. I'm curious, what the actual injury is. There's a lot of speculation that he fractured multiple ribs, and there was question on his knee. If you watch the replay slowed down, it looked like his knee gave out, and then that's what caused him to go down and then go into the post. That was a really awful looking scene, to be honest. But what that means to me is we'll get up on the trade targets here soon, but I think it just boosts a few other guys on Colorado, really. Alexi Protas is on IR. He should be eligible to return, I think, in their next game, but the Capitals definitely need him. He's a big-time even strength driver for their team. Marchand missed time late in the last game due to injury, and then Paul Maurice came out and said he's kind of been battling through some things, which is crazy considering the point pace he's on and all the goals he's scoring. But, yeah, hopefully it's not more of a long-term thing for him. Anything to add on those guys?
No, just that it seems like the past week there was a lot of injuries, and I hate to see the quality of the injuries over the past week. So wishing everyone the best.
Yeah.
I was just checking in on the Columbus's last game to see what the lines were. Just give me 1 second, just to update you to see.
I'm pretty sure they bumped up Marchenko or bumped up Monahan to Marchenko and Voronkov again, which is D line. Maybe I'm wrong.
And while we're on Columbus, Ryan, I think that Jack Greaves bet you place might look pretty good. He's starting on back-to-back games now too. If only Columbus had some defense, he'd be the best goalie in the league.
He would.
Yeah, we got a real shot at Jack Greaves for the Vezina.
Real shot. He's just it is crazy, like you said, Brian. I have him in a spot, although I just traded him away because he's doing so well. But yeah, my friend brought up a good point. Is they're gonna get him injured. He's playing so much. Why are they playing him? I mean, Merzlikins is bad, but do you really play him back to back like that when he's starting every game? And Columbus is giving up 40 shots. Man, but he is doing really well.
When Merzlikins is that bad, yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. Good point.
So just touching back on the Blue Jackets, just confirming they actually did go with Voronkov, Fantilli, Marchenko to finish out the second half of the Sharks game, and that line really crushed it at even strength. But it was against the Sharks. But keep an eye on those practice lines. I think it might be better for Voronkov if that sticks.
Yeah, absolutely. Joe Swaggerty, I want to ship Jack Hughes for a forward and a high pick. Bangers 12-man league. Thoughts on Cirelli and a 6th for Jack Hughes? What? Not for me. I think you can get a lot more than that.
It's going to be a no.
I think Jack Hughes is worth a heck of a lot more. I think you can shoot for the stars, my friend.
Yeah. In keepers leagues, also, is he a keeper? Is he not? Because if 6th round pick. So in my opinion, trading away Jack Hughes, if he's not a keeper, I want at least what a real 2nd round pick would be, and for a guy like that. So that's my opinion.
Easily. Absolutely. Dynasty question: points are goals 1, 1.5, assists 1, hits 0.1. Clayton Keller versus Jake Gensel. Who are you picking? I feel like we've been over this before. Goals 1.5, assists 1, so they're pretty close. So then I'd probably take Clayton Keller just based on the points. Although Jake Gensel on Tampa, Tampa's a wagon right now too, just like Colorado. But I think I'll take Clayton Keller. Brian?
I think I'd take Gensel, to be honest. Like Clayton Keller's been disappointing this year. Keller has been disappointing. Gensel has been great on that top power play. Kucherov's healthy again because he missed a lot at the beginning of the season. That offense is clicking. I think I'd prefer Gensel.
Ryan?
I do think we've been through this, me and Evan, in one of our episodes without you, Brian, because I remember looking up the ages of these players, and it's a dynasty league. So I think Clayton Keller had 6 years on Jake Gensel, and
he's 26, and then Gensel's 31. I think we said.
Yeah.
This is also the point where we went over, like, I know NHL players' ages, and that's pretty embarrassing. Can't remember my kids' birthdays. Let's move on. I traded Gunther in a 5th for Dahlin in a 7th. Feeling the buyer's remorse right now. Gunther in a 5th for Dahlin in a 7th. I don't know. I'm kind of lukewarm on that. I don't hate it. I guess it depends on your positional needs as well. Any immediate thoughts, Ryan?
Don't feel too much buyer's remorse, because if you look at the schedule, if you need help now, which maybe you do, if you look from next Monday until the playoffs, the Buffalo Sabres, I believe, have the most games played until the playoffs. So Dahlin should help you out there.
Brian, anything?
No. I just got Gunther, and I love Gunther, but I'll just keep quiet.
There you go. All right. Joe, again, if I were to give up Jack Hughes for Pasta or Thompson, what else should I try and throw in to seal the deal? Give up Jack Hughes for Pasta or Thompson. I mean, I think they would need to throw in a little more. Maybe not Pasta, but although he is third line right now. But I think Tage Thompson, I don't know that I would do that 1-for-1. Pasta, I guess. Brian, I'll start with you.
Yeah, if Pasta and Hughes would be a 1-for-1 with Thompson, he's given up Jack Hughes. I don't know. It depends what you need. Where are you needing help on defense, the forwards. But I see so many people looking to ship out Jack Hughes. I know the Devils are a dumpster fire, but Jack Hughes is so good. He will turn around. The Devils will start scoring. They're not going to lose every game 9-0. This might be the bottom, and then they're up from here. Who knows? But personally, I think I just want to hold on to Jack Hughes, or at least trade him when his value is high.
Yeah, I'm with that, Ryan.
Yeah, I totally agree. Don't trade Jack Hughes right now. Wait until he gets 4 multi-point games in a row, and then if you want to trade him then, which you might not want to, but that's the time to do it.
Yeah, agree. All right, let's move on a little bit here to our trade targets. So we're kind of looking at who we're going to offer or go after based on what we expect production moving forward. And for me, that's Big Val Nichushkin. We went over the Landeskog injury. He's set to miss multiple weeks, and I feel like that's going to stretch more. It just looked horrible. I really don't expect him to be back anytime soon. And all this means that Val Nichushkin's role on that top power play is more solidified for me. He needs to be that net front guy. We know what he can do when he's healthy in that position. He was a point-per-game player on a 35, 40-goal pace when he was in that spot a few years ago and healthy. It's just a matter of time where he starts to produce like that. And kind of like you had said, Ryan, their power play is abysmal. I think it's kind of more locked in now than it ever has been with Landeskog being gone. I don't know why they would move off of either Nikas, Nelson, or Val in favor of Lehkonen or anybody else, really. It doesn't make any sense to me. So that power play should be the one. I feel like they try and get too fancy with some of these passes, like McKinnon, Makar, and Nietzsche especially. They try and do all these fancy saucer passes. Sometimes you just need to fire the puck on net, and that's what Brock Nelson has been doing. He's been rewarded for it. So, but I really think Val Nichushkin, his buy low window is going to close. He hasn't had the best season to date. He gets points here and there, but I think you could probably reach out to a manager with a player that's really hot. Look at someone like Tyler Bertuzzi coming off hat tricks and stuff. Bedard's going to be back soon. Throw somebody an offer for Val Nichushkin. You will not regret it. They've got a great playoff schedule moving forward too. I love Val. I think this one's going to hit better than the Luke Hughes one, guys.
Yeah, this guy, just back to Val. He has not had a power play point since returning from injury. And, Colorado, as weird as their team is with zero power play goals, not zero, and all their goals at even strength, that's going to change. And I love this trade target.
Awesome. Good to hear the support. Moving on to yours, Ryan.
All right. We have my guy, Kevin Fiala. So this is someone that I was really excited in the offseason about. I thought he had a big bounce back coming. And when I would talk to Nate and Blake about this, they would be like, yeah, I can see it. He's talented, but look at the coach. The coach is Jim Hiller. And this is the Greg Cronin of this year, I think. So Kevin Fiala is not feasting like I thought he would. He's on a 58-point pace, and all of his underlying metrics look very similar to last year, including a very low on-ice shooting percentage and lower on-ice shots for, although the on-ice expected goals, the on-ice scoring chances for are all similar rates to last season, even though the shots aren't there. But things are not going in the net when he's on the ice at even strength. The power play looks very similar to last year, middle of the pack to the bottom 10, not the worst in the league, but Kevin Fiala is still on, a 25-point power play pace. So that's pretty okay. But the reason he's a trade target, as much as I say all these bad things about things that are going on with Kevin Fiala, is that I do think the Los Angeles Kings could be firing Jim Hiller very soon if they don't turn things around. And I don't think they're going to turn things around. There was, I went on the interweb and I typed in like, oh, what are Kings fans saying about Jim Hiller? And I found a huge Reddit thread basically saying why they all agree that they should fire Jim Hiller. It had like 60 plus comments. A local beat writer had a whole Substack explaining why they need to fire Jim Hiller. And when the fans are coming for you, management might pay attention. They might not, but I do think that if they do fire Jim Hiller, bring in a more offensive-minded coach or just anyone other than Jim Hiller, Kevin Fiala will turn things around and go off and turn into second half Fiala like he has been in previous seasons. If they don't fire Jim Hiller, I don't think that's going to happen. But you could buy low right now on Fiala at this 60-point pace. Just make sure you're paying that. And then if they fire Jim Hiller, you got possibly a point per game player. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, I love Kevin Fiala. I got him in a couple spots, and I'm waiting for the second half Fiala because that has been his MO every single year. And then if they do go ahead and fire Jim Hiller, like that should result in his offense going up. It seems like he has picked it up late, I feel like, but I think his ceiling is so much higher than what he is producing. So yeah, I'd be all in on grabbing some Kevin Fiala.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it's weird because they did kind of split the power play recently with the Kings, and that Brant Clark unit looks so much better. Like it was scoring, but it's like it just goes to show, like, no hate on Drew Doughty and like Anze Kopitar, but like their time is done. Like they can still be decent, even strength players and like penalty kill and stuff, but like you need guys that can facilitate offense out there, and we need Brant Clark firing shots toward the net, not Kopitar like passing it back and forth with Kempe and nobody firing a shot. So yeah, I definitely, and this whole like second half Fiala, like I remember Nate and Blake going over it once being like, this isn't like a reliable thing. No, it is. Like it's happened like every single year. So until it doesn't happen, I'm going to believe that it will.
To be fair, I don't think it happened last year. And
not as much.
To be fair as well.
Not as much.
If they don't fire Jim Hiller, if they don't fire him, it's not going to happen. But
can Fiala fight through him?
Yeah, but even with Fiala, like I would be willing to trade someone with a similar point pace, even if Jim Hiller doesn't get fired, just because I think the skill ceiling is a lot higher on Fiala than someone else who's pacing at 60 point pace. Speaking of Nazem Kadri, what a transition. So my trade target this week is Nazem Kadri. The reason I want to talk a little about Kadri is a couple things. He's super valuable in obviously a lot of formats here, especially in let's say a category league because of his shot volume. He shoots the biscuit like he's Austin Matthews in red. So he shoots a ton and he has been ice cold of late. With that in mind, he still has always been the one who kind of stirs the offense in Calgary. So I would be really in on Nazem Kadri. I had him in a couple spots last year, and similar to Kevin Fiala, he was horrible to start the year, and he finished the year, great. I think he finished with around 67, 70 points last year. This year, he's on pace for 62 points, so a little bit under, which means there is room for improvement. I know Calgary struggles to put the puck in the net, but it seems like they're also picking up play as of late as a team, just the way based on the eye test. So I think that also translates to Nazem Kadri putting more pucks in the net. And the other thing I was looking at is Calgary right now, they're 5 points out of a playoff spot. I've heard rumors that they're not going to trade Rasmus Anderson, and if they don't, then what are they doing? Are they going to try to, make the playoffs? And if that's the case, you're going to see more Nazem Kadri. He's their best player. They're going to keep putting him on the ice, and that's going to open the door for a couple more points here or there. So that's what I'd be looking to target, Nazem Kadri.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. I feel like he's kind of undervalued, and I feel like you wouldn't have to really give up that much for him. So I do agree with that, Brian.
Yeah, I agree as well, because I have Kadri in a spot, and I was really examining my team, and I was like, can I drop Kadri? And I decided I couldn't. So, but it was a question there. So if you get to one of those managers who might be questioning that, and it's like, okay, yeah. But I was also looking last year, and we might be onto something, guys. Maybe no second half Fiala, but second half Kadri. Last year, in the last 40 games, he got 38 points. So that's really nice.
It was nice.
I don't know. I'm curious your guys' thoughts on this. I think there's something to be said for certain teams, like moving into like your fantasy hockey playoffs in the weeks leading up to it. Like the teams that are normally either right on the bubble or kind of out of it start to play out of their minds. Like last year, it was like Montreal, Buffalo. I feel like Calgary might be one of those teams this year where it's like, when all the pressure's off and they got nothing to play for, all of a sudden Nazem Kadri is going to become a point per game player. Like, I don't know how it works, but I feel like when that pressure is off of the players, they start to perform. And I feel like I've seen it year after year. Ottawa, another one.
Look at the Leafs, bottom of the barrel, and then all of a sudden Matthews is like, I can play hockey. He's scoring. So maybe that's all it takes.
He's doing it, man. He's doing it. I love it. All right, we got a fair amount of comments. I really like this. A lot to get through here. I'll kind of go through here. So Nightbane, this is a long-winded one, but we'll try and get through it for you, man. Ahoy, currently lined up for the bye, so building for week 23, then winging it in the final week still. Got an idea of trading away Hints as he plays on busy days like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Can already fill his spot with a lesser player those days. Additionally, I have Robo, so I'm partially bought into the Dallas success. Might see if I can score Lehkonen, Nuke, or Nelson for the off days, as it will get 3 more games that week. I will have to take a loss on the trade to make it happen, but might be able to mitigate with return draft picks. My only worry is, would I be too bought in on the Avs? I already have Nikas, Taze, Black, and Wedgwood. Could change it up and go after a defenseman like Erik Karlsson or Falk. Potentially pull 2 players and do with Hints and draft picks. Man, this isn't on the barn burner. Karlsson and Nelson or Falk Landy will give me 5 or 6 additional games. Also pondering the idea of waiting to do trades until after the Olympic break, just in case there are injuries. Lastly, what are your thoughts on Morgan Riley rest of season? League Deeds 12-team 2-keeper head-to-head points banger league. I don't like. I know like playoff schedule is a thing, but I don't know that I would take a loss on Hints just to get like Lehkonen or Val, even though I do like Val. So that's kind of my thought on it. If you can go after a defenseman like Erik Karlsson, then maybe. I'm not sure I'm too into Justin Falk personally. And then finally, for Morgan Riley rest of season, I'm really kind of out on Morgan Riley with what the Leafs have been doing and their power play. A lot of it's been 5 forward. Brian, throw it to you first.
Yeah, pull up the clock. No, I'm joking. There's like 20 there. Yeah, so let me break this down. I would definitely be out on Morgan Riley. I don't like what I've seen out of him. If your defense is pretty well stacked, I wouldn't mind trading him even for a forward for, that gives you the off nights. But it really does depend on how far you are ahead in first, right? If it's still close within the top 3, 4, 5, you'd be a fool to start planning for the playoffs now, because you got to make it there first and lock that by. But if you can offset like Morgan Riley for someone who has, say, Landeskog, maybe Landeskog in a draft pick, like that could be something I'd be on board with, and you can stash him on your IR, whatever that looks like, depending on the format. But I think it's too soon to be making some major trades to get off of Dallas guys, especially when they're humming, just to pick up someone on the Avs, and you already have a bunch of Avs right now. So that would be my 2 cents. I think it's something to keep in mind, but I don't know how to be pulling the trigger right now.
Right.
Yeah, you guys are wise. You are both wise and saying wise words, and I agree. I wouldn't do either of those. I wouldn't get off of hints just for those. I do really like that you're looking at these schedules, and I think it can give you a big boost, but not with these players. I think that they are too close to, streamer level players, or could become that way. Val Nichushkin, he was possibly droppable when he was getting 14 minutes a night off the top power play, middle six. Now he's not, and that could happen with Brock Nelson. It could happen with Landeskog. And also, who knows what the Avs are going to do as the season goes into the end, and they might rest some guys. Who knows? But I think if you have hints right now, use him as a trade piece to get someone better. And I think if you're looking at that playoff schedule, Pittsburgh has a 5-game week, so maybe you can get Sidney Crosby if you're giving hints at another significant piece that you might, bench. And I would be looking to do that.
I like that, especially because I traded for Crosby in a league recently as well. What are your thoughts on Hellebuck rest of the season? What would you give up at this point? Askarov and Cooley or Geeky was asked for me for Hellebuck. Yeah, I would trade Askarov or Cooley or Geeky for Hellebuck rest of the season. It is tough. The Winnipeg Jets have been kind of a dumpster fire as well, but I mean, I'd much rather have Hellebuck than any of those players. You guys?
Yeah, I think even Nate would do that, to be honest.
That's saying something.
Hashtag 0G. Breadman, hey guys, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Doan versus Zucker, 14-team APL scoring. Definitely Zucker. I think he just gets to work more on the power play pretty consistently. Ryan, you're nodding your head?
Doan for me.
Woo!
Yeah, I think the deployment's there for Zucker, but they're really spreading things out across the top 3 lines, and Doan is just driving play a lot better on his lines. His lines are doing better at even strength in terms of expected goals. Zucker is just there as, a guy to piggyback on everyone else's success. Doan is actually a guy creating success. So give me Doan, and the opportunities will improve for him.
I find myself loving some of these guys like the Chris Kreider-esque power play net front that just bang it in, because when they get those points, they just come in bunches. And, like you said, Doan might be more consistent, but I want those boom games from Zucker where he's just going off. Although he's kind of been injured quite a bit, and he's just coming back from one.
I mean, yeah, Evan, you look at guys like Bertuzzi, he's averaging 0.87 points per game. Has he scored a goal yet this year outside of the blue paint there? I don't think so.
No, and he also might have the most attempts at a between the legs goal that hasn't gone in yet this year as well, which I find interesting because he's really not that much of a skill player, but he's doing great. Marchman, a good IR stash. Who's PP1 when all healthy? That's a good question because he was getting looks. I just don't know that consistently with Monahan being healthy that he'll be PP1 over Monahan or Voronkov. I think they're still going to stick with Fantilli, Monahan, Voronkov, Werenski, and Marchenko in my mind. You guys have any different thoughts?
No, I think that I would think the same, but I know Monahan is injured a lot. Boone Jenner gets hurt. A couple guys get hurt a lot, so might be worth the stash if you have the extra ad this week. Why not?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good stash. And even if he's on that even strength line with Fantilli and Marchenko, definitely worth a stash.
He's still good. Yeah, he's looked really good since going to Columbus. So good stuff. Between Sergei Bobrovsky and Karel Vejmelka, which goalie should I trade for? Wins goals against saves. Ooh, that's an interesting one. I would have to take Bobrovsky just because of the team situation. Although if you look at a lot of the advanced team stats, Utah's doing much better defensively. And Karel Vejmelka, before he got injured, was leading the league in goalie wins. I'll throw it to you first, Ryan, as the goalie guru here.
Yeah, I think Florida will pick up more wins, and you're right where Utah limits a lot of chances, but they limit the shots against more than Florida. And I think Bobrovsky can get a lot more saves and probably have similar goals against average to Pamelka. So I'd go Bobrovsky.
Brian, break the tie. No, never mind. I said Bobrovsky.
Yeah, there is no tie. I'd go Bob. I'd go Bob. I mean, Utah has like better off night schedule during the regular season, but I would still go Bob. It depends how many goalies you're rostering. I think Florida's only going to get better from here on out when guys start to get healthy. Kachuk's coming back soonish. I'd go Bob.
All right. Who wins, Nazar versus Monahan when both healthy? Cats includes his plus minus. I'd still go Monahan.
I'm rostering Monahan. He's been horrible. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'll ride with Monahan, but as much as I not loving him, I think that he can perform. He might. He could.
Ryan?
I'm pleading the fifth here because I don't like the questions of like rest of season or when both are healthy. These are both players that you just need to evaluate in the moment. And Nazar at times is like, yes, I need to add him right now. And other times he gets moved off the top power play and he's on the third line. It's like, no, not anymore. And that could happen with Monahan too. So these are both players that it's like, okay, you evaluate them right now. What are they doing and what can they do? I wouldn't really, bank on anything rest of season from either of these streamer level players.
I think the plus minus really hits me because Chicago and Nazar's line always get caved in, I feel like. But yeah, no, I agree with that. It's kind of difficult to do. Would you trade Slafkovsky for Nichushkin? Already have Caulfield on the Habs? Absolutely, I would do that. I don't know if you guys have a different take.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah, no different take here.
All right. Fellas, I've had 4 goalies for too long. Vazzy, Kemper, Blackwood, and Wedge. Should I try and trade Kemper, being that the Avs had a nice playoff schedule with games play, or sell Wedge and keep Kemper? That's a tough one. Without knowing, like, is it a Cats or a points league? I mean, either way, I think, like, having the Colorado stack, like, they've lost 3 games. I mean, I think I would consider that, truthfully. If you can get good return for Kemper, I wouldn't feel bad about doing that. Brian?
If it's sorry, Brian, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think I'd actually hold on to Kemper. Blackwood keeps getting hurt. I think Kemper has been healthier for longer stretches. I think I'd prefer Kemper in a good defensive environment.
Yeah, I mean, right now, if Blackwood is on your IR, you're only holding 3 goalies, which in a categories league, I would be very happy with Vazzy, Kemper, and Wedgwood. Even in a points league right now, and then when Blackwood comes back in a points league, I don't think you should be rostering Blackwood and Wedgwood because they're going to split starts in points leagues. They're both probably droppable. That in points leagues that really value volume, but in categories leagues, when they're both back, I would trade one away to get a significant player and then just be happy with Blackwood or Wedgwood giving you 1 to 2 starts a week that are pretty great.
Trust me when I say in points league, I still love getting the wins from Colorado every time you start your goalie. Yeah. Would you trade Marchenko or Slav for Nichushkin? Yes to Slafkovsky, no to Marchenko for me.
Yep.
How many D do you guys roster if you have 4 slots? 4. Is that a hot take?
Wow, spicy.
Anyone? I feel like unless there's a really one that's like good, like out there, like if I had picked up Darren Radish as my 5th defenseman off waivers, sure. But outside of that, no.
Depends what your draft.
Yeah, no. It does depend on your draft, but I think for me, I go with 4 as the standard. But on those nice streamable weeks, where the Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays doesn't have every team playing, those are weeks where I might drop the 4th defenseman and go for a forward and get that extra forward game in if I could fit him into my roster.
Okay. All right. Moving on to our trade grades. So submitted to the Discord. Did you fleece? Or are you getting fleeced? Get into the Discord. Get into the Trade Talks mailbag. Send us your trades. We want to go over them and grade them and review them. Let's get into the first one here. We've got a 12-team head-to-head Cats league with goals, assists, power play points, plus minus, shorthanded points, shots on goal, blocks, hits, and PIMs. giving away Elias Pettersson, Gunther, and Morgan Riley, and receiving Jack Hughes and Matthew Tkachuk.
All right. So I'm up first. I'm giving Ryan's ruling. We are back with Ryan's ruling, Evan's edge, and the one and only Brian's boom. All three of them coming at you. So this one for me is a B+. I am doing this trade. I think you are upgrading. Jack Hughes is amazing. Matt Tkachuk could be amazing if he returns to his former self and isn't playing hurt. And you're only giving away, I'm kind of ignoring Riley here. You're giving away Pettersson and Guenther for these two elite guys. The reason I have it in the B range is just the risk of this. You're loading up with Jack Hughes and Matt Tkachuk, but it's a possibility, I think a higher possibility than most players with Matt Tkachuk, that he does not play in your fantasy playoffs, or maybe just the semifinals and finals, or maybe just the finals. It's a really big possibility. If Florida has secured a playoff spot and Matt Tkachuk isn't like 100%, I think they're going to sit him. So for me, it's just a little risky to give away Guenther and Pettersson for Matt Tkachuk, who could be a ghost on your IR in the fantasy playoffs.
All right. Well, I am going to contradict a lot of that. I'm giving this an A+. I mean, you're getting Matthew Tkachuk and Jack Hughes. I mean, this is an absolute slam dunk of a trade. Like, I like Gunther, but I don't think he's reliable enough, like, to consistently put up points like either of those players. And Morgan Riley, we've kind of discussed, I'm out on him completely. Elias Pettersson, now that Vancouver's sold, like, again, I'm just not terribly interested. Like, and I think that although it's possible, to your point, that happens with Matthew Tkachuk, I don't think that you can like rely on that via trade. Like, I'm trading for Matthew Tkachuk thinking he's going to play and going to be healthy and everything. But I guess there would be some concern of, again, a repeat injury, especially in the Olympics, or, like you said, resting, and probably Jack Hughes for you as well, Ryan, given your history between the two of you. But yeah, no, this is an A+ for me. This is a smash. Like, I think you're parading around the streets when this gets accepted. Brian?
Yes, guys, get ready for the boom. I'm giving this one A+. I'm definitely making this trade. Although we do have to make sure we have all the utensils away from Jack Hughes. You don't want him to have another injury. Matthew Tkachuk, just got to keep him away from, I don't know, he's going to run through everything anyways. I think you're going to make this trade with the thought in mind that both these guys are going to play. And I think you already got one of the injuries in Jack Hughes, the inevitable injury, out of the way. So I think he's good for the rest of the season. He's going to pick it up. You're freeing up a roster spot, which I like, especially when you're trying to stream and you got an upgrade at with both players there. So I don't even look at Morgan Riley. I get rid of him. I'm fine with that. And then Pettersson, like, Vancouver situation now, Evan, to your point here, it's not looking great. And he's not doing great. He's doing better than last year, I think, but that was pretty horrible last year. But you're going to get an upgrade on two players. So I'll take that all day, free up the roster spot to maximize, get a couple more games on my opponent.
Yeah. Is Morgan Riley is a roster spot worth more than Morgan Riley at this point? I think you could consider it, just trading Morgan Riley for a roster spot.
I don't know. 12 teams. I think, in a lot of my 12-team leagues, D are looking at the wire on the D front. There's no one, and I'd rather have Riley.
In 12 teams, I haven't really seen him be dropped, but I just think there's other defensemen I would rather have. And if I have a day where, like I have 4 defense already rostered, and I'm like, okay, he's going to be on my bench anyways. So, yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Also, there's some just some reports came in that Jack Hughes has switched to handheld foods only. So burritos, burgers. He's eating sushi with his fingers.
That brings up another issue, though. If he's eating the pizza pockets, he might get a burn. He might burn his hands. He'll be out for another couple weeks. We need Luke Hughes to blow in all his food, make sure it's cooled off before he touches it.
I saw a report that Tate McRae was holding his hand too hard, and like there's concern about re-injury as well. So. All right. Trade number 2 here, 12-team standard Cats League. The preface of this was needed a D-man, giving away Dylan Larkin and Travis Konechny and receiving Elias Pettersson and Evan Bouchard. Brian.
Yeah, giving this a boom. Giving this one an A. I would be making this trade. I think you said it yourself. You're looking to upgrade your defense. I think Evan Bouchard is really picking up. That Edmonton power play is nuclear, of course. This also started trying something a little different with Connor McDavid entering the zone way late. So you can't really account for him, and then he picks up and scores. So if you're the last person to touch it, which Evan Bouchard is, then he's going to get some points. So that's really good. And then in a Cats league, Elias Pettersson does what you want. And whenever you get a forward that's offering you peripherals, like blocks especially, that is incredibly valuable. So I'm making that trade. I also take a look at Dylan Larkin. I feel like he's really dropped off in terms of the shot volume since the beginning of the year. He was nuclear. Really dropped off there. He's still scoring here and there, but it's not as convincing as it was early in the season. And then Konechny, it seems like a lot of the offense is pretty spread around in Philadelphia, and then a lot of it goes through Zegras. So if he's not getting on the end of it, you're just not seeing that as much value. So I'd be making that trade. I'd be happy with it, making an upgrade at D especially.
There you go. I pretty much echo everything that you said. I do value Dylan Larkin a little bit better, obviously, as a Wings fan, so that's why it's the A- instead of the A. But yeah, I love Evan Bouchard. And Pettersson's, he's not great, but he's no slouch. I mean, he's going to get something. I wouldn't say comparable to Larkin, but it's a fine replacement in the trade. And then Konechny, it's all Trevor Zegras. You guys see the phone, Selly, like the little, click. Yeah. Well, Trevor Zegras is just doing it, man. So yeah, but I like this trade specifically. Ryan.
Yeah, I'm with you both here. Not a lot of disagreement. And I think in a Cats league, if there's blocks, Pettersson's on pace for more than 100 blocks, which is crazy from a forward. So that's really nice. I think him and Larkin are pretty similar in a Cats league like that. And I'm taking Bouchard over Konechny all day.
All right. Love that. Brian, you want to get into this next trade?
Sure. We got a 12-team APL points league scoring. This is submitted by A_Mar #96. You're going to be giving away Wallstat and Bratt, and you're going to be receiving Adam Fantilli and Rupe Hintz. And who's up first?
I believe it's me.
Ryan's
we have a ruling here. I'm giving this one a C+. I am not doing this trade, but I do think it's close. I think that it's like a good trade to happen in an APL league, especially if you're giving away a goalie, because we are 0G here. Jesper Wallstedt, turns out he's not the greatest goaltender in the world for the whole season, because Philip Gustafsson is still getting a ton of starts. So I do like giving away Wallstedt, and you're getting Hintz and Fantilli for Jesper Bratt. I think I'm not doing this because Jesper Bratt's value is at the lowest value that it will ever be in the next few years, I think. So you're really not getting enough in return. But I think if you don't think Bratt will rebound and you think the New Jersey Devils are the worst team in the league offensively for the remainder of the season, great job. But I don't agree with that.
Hey, Brian?
Yeah, I see it similarly. I'm also just a huge fan of Bratt, and I've had so many people ask me of like, oh, should I trade Bratt? I'm like, no, like he's at the lowest point he's ever going to be. I think once he gets some chemistry back in that top line with Jack Hughes' re-entry back into the lineup, I think he's going to see a big uptick as well. And then also, like, we know Wallstedt he's not a god. I know I joked about it last time saying that he's the best goalie ever, but I know he's not. I would also see a little bit of regression from Hintz there, I think, towards the end of the season. Dallas power play is great. Can it keep up? Probably, but he might not be getting in as involved throughout the rest of the year. So I just think it's too much for me to give away Bratt. Like, I just huge fan of Bratt. I think it's too much.
Yep. I pretty much agree with everything you guys said. I'm a big Bratt fan as well. I do think I didn't really consider this, but positionally, if he needed a center, like I can see an argument for it to be made. I still wouldn't love the trade. I think you could do it if you really needed a center positionally that bad, and you were stocked up on wings. But yeah, I think Jesper Bratt's the best player in this trade, and for that reason, I wouldn't do it. Ryan, you want to get into trade number 4?
Let's do it. We are giving away. Okay, before I tell you who we're giving away, I'll first tell you what the league is. It's a 14 team Cats league, and it's a keeper league. So what we are doing is we are giving away Chris Kreider and a 4th rounder, and we are receiving Artemi Panarin and a 12th rounder. So we are loading up for the win here. You're probably listening to a bunch of trade talks show where we keep saying that the Rangers have such a nice schedule for the playoffs, and Artemi Panarin's going to be real nice on your team in the playoffs. So I gave this A. Ryan's ruling is an A. I think you can't go wrong here. If you're going for the win, you got to give up. You got to give out the picks, and yeah, Chris Kreider might be a waiver level. Actually, 14 team. The reason this isn't an A+ is because, why does this guy need Chris Kreider back? Why can't it just be Panarin and a 12th rounder for your 4th rounder, and then you drop your worst player? Because in a 14-team league, I don't know if Kreider would be your worst player, but maybe he is. Maybe your team is stacked.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, getting Panarin for this is great. Maybe the other manager was just real stingy. He wanted Chris Kreider in hopes that he gets back to his power play goal scoring ways. But yeah, the Ducks have fallen off big time, especially Kreider. But yeah, no, I love this. Love Panarin. He's starting to turn it around. The Adam Fox injury really is concerning me with my Panarin shares across multiple leagues, but I still think he's going to do the thing.
Yeah. Adam Fox going down will not affect Panarin. Panarin still does his thing. He's going to put up points. So, yeah, I think you're getting the best player here. Oh, I gave it an A. So, boom. I'm giving this an A. I do like it, and I just think Kreider, I'm totally fine with leaving him. Ryan, to your point, he's probably borderline droppable, maybe not in a 14 team, but he's right on that edge there, and he's really dropped off, and the Ducks as a whole have also dropped off, whereas Panarin's also going in the opposite direction. He's really picked it up. I did try a couple times to get in on the Panarin train. I missed it. But now if you have Panarin, you're happy with him because he has been really, really good. So, yeah, I'm totally fine with this.
Love it. Fun fact, I have Panarin in every single fantasy league that I have this year. And he and only one other player I had in every single league before I trade him, and that's Morgan Geekie. Wow. And I probably should have traded him to Ryan back when we had that discussion for Seth Jarvis months ago. So congratulations, Ryan.
Thank you.
Getting into some more comments before we move on. Just finalize a trade: Gensel, Gunther, and Woll for Kaprizov, Forsberg, and Swayman in a Bangers Cats league with plus-minus goalie Cats win, save percentage, shutout. Seem fair, but what are your thoughts? Traded Gensel, Gunther, and Woll for Cap, Forsberg, and Swayman? Yeah, absolutely. This is a smash of a trade. You guys?
Yeah. I mean, I roster both Cap and Forsberg, and they've been disappointing, but they're still going to put up more points than Gensel and Gunther. Swayman has been great. Woll might get a split when that other goalie, Toronto, whenever he comes back. Don't even remember him. He's been gone so long. Yeah, I'd be making that trade for sure.
Ryan?
Yeah, I agree. This is a good trade, especially Banger Cats. Forsberg has an edge here. The goalies, I think, to be honest, are a wash, and Kaprizov and Forsberg are a lot more valuable than Gensel and Gunther.
Although, Philip Forsberg might have a charge coming up against him soon.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Breadman, Brian, who's the tiebreaker, bro? Doan versus Zucker.
Oh.
Tell him.
I said Zucker. I like Zucker. Woo. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
See you guys.
Brian
is back. Love it. Hey, Payne, thanks for digging into my too long message. No problem, man. It was a good question. I'm currently 12-1 as I sold off last season. I'm not sure what to do with Morgan Riley as he's my 5th D. On top of being shipped out, cover your eyes because here's my D: Sanderson, Sider, Taze, Riley, and McAvoy.
Wow.
Also not looking to do any trades till after the Olympics just in case injury. Is that a crazy idea? I don't really need the help now, mainly for week 23. I mean, I don't think you need to wait on trading Morgan Riley personally. I think you could trade him at any point. And honestly, this D is great outside of Taze being hurt, but I like Sanderson, Sider, McAvoy. So I think you could easily trade him.
Yeah.
And I'm not big on the whole like, well, let's wait for the Olympics to be over and see who gets hurt. I mean, people are going to get hurt. It's going to happen. But like, I'm not like waiting on making trades per se, personally, in any situation like that. Devontae is valuable in a 16-team Cats league with plus minus. I could drop Monahan, but I have 5th D. Yeah, if you got the IR spot, I think so. 16-teamer.
16 team, yeah, he'd be valuable in a 16.
Yeah,
I don't know.
sure.
Would you want to drop Monahan for him though?
I think so. I think there's probably more forwards available. That's just me.
I don't know. 16 team Monahan. Like things could be nice for Monahan in the next few weeks in Columbus with Marshman going down. So I wouldn't do that right now, but I'd definitely keep an eye on Taze because with plus minus, he's definitely valuable in a 16 teamer.
Yeah, I was gonna say with a 16 teamer, there's got to be someone outside of Monahan he probably could drop too. I would have to imagine. Maybe Josh Stone. Letang or Nemec APL points. That's interesting. It just really depends what happens with Nemec. Like I'd probably have just Letang over him just because I don't know.
For now, I'd say Letang, and then if Nemec gets power play 1 and it starts clicking, then obviously Nemec gets the edge. But I'd say Letang right now.
Which he will, because Sheldon Keefe has a personal beef against all fantasy managers, and wants to kill Luke Hughes. So.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. I'm not counting on Simone Nemec. I'm a dynasty Simone Nemec owner, and I really don't think that the rest of the season he's going to be as valuable as he was on that hot streak he had
when he got a hat trick against me in 2 leagues. Yeah, I remember it. In Bangers Cats, would you trade away Jeek or Kempe for JT Miller, trying to acquire a Ranger for their playoff schedule? That's an interesting one. I would not trade away Jeek. I just think that he has too much value now with Quinn Hughes being added in that power play. Kempe for JT Miller. Yeah, I'd probably do it without knowing the Hiller situation. Ryan, start with you.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot that I predicted that Jim Hiller was getting fired. That might
change things.
That might boost Kempe, but
pretend Jim Hiller doesn't get fired. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I would do both of these. I think JT Miller, he's still worth, if we had a redraft right now, I would draft him in the 4th round, and Kempe, they're 5th rounders.
That's crazy. That's crazy. JT Miller is so bad, guys. It's so hard to.
Let's be real.
Yeah. No, I think I'd actually do the other way around. I think I would trade Jeek and I'd keep Kempe, to be honest. Wow. I think Kempe can score more than Jeek will, even with the Quinn Hughes boost. But yeah, if you're looking, I'd go and acquire JT Miller, sure, reluctantly, but I would prefer to keep Kempe.
Interesting. Yeah, Kempe banks too. I mean,
he does.
I don't know. I honestly, I kind of like both of those players over JT Miller at this point. I understand the playoff schedule thing. It's so up in the air of like, is he going to come back healthy? Is he going to come back happy? Remember when we took his leave of absence in Vancouver with the Pedersen thing and he was unhappy? I don't know. Who knows?
He only plays well when he's unhappy, guys. He doesn't need happiness.
Doesn't need it. Points league with Yahoo standard scoring. If I wanted to trade away Celebrini, who would you target? Whoa, that sentence is kind of weird. If I wanted to trade away Celebrini, I already have McKinnon and Scheifele, so I have a surplus of pure centers. I think if you have McKinnon, Scheifele, and Celebrini as your centers, you kick your feet up and you give yourself a round of applause and just, rake in your winnings. I mean, I don't know what you guys think.
Who would you target? I don't know, Connor McDavid? Like, Celebrini has been great.
Yeah. So this is actually interesting. I was I fired up fantasy on X. He was posting some things about Celebrini, and I was agreeing that Kirill Kaprizov might actually be a trade target if you wanted to trade away Celebrini. In my opinion, Celebrini, he's amazing, but I don't think he's going to finish with 125 points. And I do think that Kaprizov could finish with more second half points than Celebrini. And then if you're looking at the playoff schedule, both San Jose and Minnesota have poor playoff schedules. But in terms of who should you target, I think target Kaprizov if you can get the left wing and get rid of the pure center. I would do that straight up. Would you guys not do that?
No.
No,
As
I don't
as a
think I would.
Kaprizov owner in multiple spots,
Yeah.
I believe in him, and he has the ability to get multi-point games like a lot, but I just feel like the stretches of him being a first, early second round draft pick, and like the return has not been, I feel like, what I had hoped for. It's still possible rest of season he builds off, especially with the addition of Quinn Hughes, but I mean, doubt Celebrini, man. That kid is unbelievable. I think that the talent and the scoring, like, yeah, it's like on another level right now, and he's due for some regression. But on a game-to-game basis, I would rather have Celebrini personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I probably echo that. Like, I have Kaprizov as well, and I'm banging my head against the wall sometimes. Like, what? Just 1 point? Just 1 assist? That's it?
Yeah, you're supposed to be my top player. Like,
Yeah.
I love Kaprizov too. I just like $17 million man. Show me it. Like, get like 5 points like Kucherov does every night. Like, what are we talking about?
He might.
But
He might. He will. He will. You'll see.
For my sake, Ryan, I hope you're right. I really do. And as a Celebrini owner in our keepers league, Ryan, the experts league, I'm very happy.
Yeah, just in that league, I'm kicking myself because at the time when Nate asked to like put it in our chat, like if we wanted to put it like get in, I think you beat me to claiming that Celebrini team. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll take Matthews. Or did I choose the Matthews?
I think you chose the Matthews team because who did it have? And it had somebody else as well.
No, it was all for Matthews, and that that is a bad decision.
Some guy named Blake Creamer missed you, boys. Miss you too, man. Glad that you're in here. All right, real quick. Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, Dylan Strom, John Carlson, Josh Morrissey for 4. Austin Matthews, Cale Makar, Bobrovsky, Duchesne, JJ Moser. Goals, assists, power play points, plus minus shots on goals, hits. You can trade away as many Anders Lees and Brock Nelson as possible for Austin Matthews and Makar. That's nuts.
I'm sorry. That's confusing me. Is this a real trade? And if so, like, what are we doing?
Not league manager vetoed. Yeah. But congrats if you got it.
This looks like either collusion or taking advantage of someone who doesn't play fantasy hockey or watch fantasy hockey.
Yeah. No, I love it. Anytime you can get it. Would you take Jeek or Trocheck in a Bangers cast? Does Jeek have higher point upside with Quinn? That's an interesting one. I think they're very close. I personally would rather have Trocheck. Brian?
Yeah, I think Jeek has the higher point upside, but I think I would take Trocheck. I mean, we're going to talk about we've heard it a lot today, but the playoff schedule, I think Trocheck would have a much better playoff schedule than Jeek will.
Brian?
I'm taking Jeek.
God, guys, we gotta off camera just to really get to business here. We're all over the place. Any concern with the Cord's volume? Yes. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, Philip Grubauer was like basically should have been in the East Coast League, and then now all of a sudden he's NHL caliber again, playing like he did with Colorado. So it's impressive, and they're giving him more starts. So yeah, I am concerned about the Cord.
Yeah, for sure. If you watched Blake talk with the real goalie guru, I believe Kevin Woodley, preseason. This was, Philip Grubauer was the 0G call out from Kevin Woodley as the guy who could rebound his career. And that's exactly what Grubauer is doing.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy stuff, really. Like, I've watched him play like a lot, and it's been bad. Grubauer has been bad in prior years. So it's interesting stuff. Ryan, best Bangers guy to target for playoffs. I really like Vincent Trocheck. Yeah, they've got like some of the best stuff. JT Miller on there, although I'd say Trocheck over him. But yeah, both of them really good Rangers Bangers guys to target.
Vinny Tro, friend of the show.
Always. Would you take Distal over any of Veg, Wool, Askarov in a Cats League? Wins, saves, and save percentage? Yes, I would take him over Wool and Askarov probably. Not over Veg Melka.
I would take him over all three.
Wow. And I would take him only over Askarov.
All right. Agents just dropped Jacob Markstrom. Do you approve? Yes. It is bad as bad gets. I mean, he's already like pseudo splitting starts with Allen anyways, or splitting like in 9 goals against. I mean, that might be the highest like negative points this year outside of that Hofer start where he like got pulled and then put back in and let in 3 more goals. So yeah, I don't know. It's puzzling stuff with both the Devils and Jacob Markstrom. All right, moving on. Trade number 5, 10-team points league, goals 6.5, assists 4.5, shorthanded points 1, power play points 1, shots on goal 0.7, hits 0.7, blocks 1 by Lucio. Gave away Rasmus Anderson and received Will Cooley. Brian.
I had to think this through for a second. Yeah, I give this a B+, so I would actually be doing this trade. And I'm thinking a couple of reasons why. So actually, would you mind going back just real quick? I just need to review that one more time. I need to think about why I said B+. 10 teams, 6.5, 4.5. Yeah. Okay. I'm looking at taking Will Cooley because of, number one, the playoff schedule for the Rangers looks really good. As a forward, Cooley blocks a lot. He had a 5-block game the other night, which is crazy for a forward. And he does have the chance to go up into power play 1. We've seen him there a couple times throughout the year. We might see him up there again. Who knows? And then Anderson, there is always the risk of, hey, what if he does get traded? If he does get traded, then his value is going to go down, I'd imagine, because he won't be on that top power play. He won't be getting as much minutes. So for me, I'd be giving this a B+. I'd be making this trade.
Ryan.
Yeah, I'm making this trade as well. Tiny bit less excited, just giving it a B. But yeah, someone asked what bangers guys can you target for playoffs? Will Cooley, he's one of them. And yeah, in this category, in this points league, the hits and blocks are pretty heavy. 0.7 and 1 in comparison to 6.5 for a goal and 4.5 for an assist. So Will Cooley will be very helpful in that.
I echo everything that you guys just both said. I would make the trade, but I'm a little bit more bullish on Rasmus Anderson probably. I think there were some reports that he's might not be traded, and if he doesn't, then he will have pretty good value rest of season, as I kind of outlined with some of these bottom feeder teams like Calgary, maybe making a push for your fantasy playoffs. Like I feel like they're still going to keep playing when other teams might be letting off the gas pedal or resting some players. So I do like Will Cooley. I think I'd like him a lot more if I knew he was going to consistently get some more power play time, but he's still really good for Bangers Cats for sure. Ryan, you want to get into trade number 6?
Yeah, let's do it. We got a 14-team league. Only the top 6 qualify for playoffs. 3 keepers only for max 3-year contract. Goals are 5, assists are 3. We got some extra points for defensemen there. Shots 0.4, hits and blocks are both 0.2. So hits and blocks are not as valuable as that last league. And we are giving away Pasternak and Kyle Connor, and we are receiving Zach Werenski and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Some added context here. He has Pasta on year 2 and Kyle Connor on year 1 as his keepers, so he could still keep them if he wanted. And Hedman was his other keeper, who he feels that he might not be a keeper anymore, so he might be looking for another one, which he might keep Dylan Genther or Nico Hischier. So that's some added context. And Ryan's ruling here on this trade, giving away Pasta and Kyle Connor, getting Zach Werenski and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, is a D. So I think that this is a bad trade. It looks like you might think that you're not going to qualify for the playoffs and you're trying to improve your keepers possibly, which I don't think you're doing. Pasternak is still a first-round pick in my mind and definitely worth keeping as into his 3rd year in this league. Kyle Connor, second-round pick in my opinion, still worth keeping into his 2nd year. And yeah, it looks like you're needing a 3rd keeper. And Werenski, as much as I love Werenski, I think he's on par with the value that Pasternak has. And then you're just having a huge downgrade of Kyle Connor going down to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins is on a point per game pace, it seems, still, with Connor McDavid just blasting off, but he might not be a keeper in a keep 3 league. So I don't know. I wouldn't do this. Don't do this. Please don't do this.
Yeah, I agree. I went C-, so not as bad as a D, but I would not do this trade for all the reasons that you outlined, Ryan. I just think, David, just look at it I know it's like you're looking at the keeper, everything else, but like Pasta and Kyle Connor are both like first round to like high second round picks, and Zach Werenski is the only other one that's even remotely in the same ballpark. Like I know he's a really good defenseman, but yeah, the value is much too tilted on one side. If you could remove Pasta and just throw in another like high, like why not do like Nico Hischier and Kyle Connor for Zach Werenski and Nugent Hopkins or Gunther? Like I'd rather have, Pasta over either of those guys. So like, yeah, to me, I would not do this. Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to echo exactly what you said. I'm giving this a C-. I'm not doing this as much as I love Zach Werenski. You're giving away too much.
There we go.
Short and sweet.
No booms. All right. Points league here. We got trade number 7, goals 6, assists 4, power play points are 2, shots on goal 1, block 1, hit 1 by Got Mule. Giving away Josh Morrissey and receiving Darren Radish. This is going to spark some conversation. I am giving this a C. I would not do this trade. The only reason I didn't grade it lower is because Darren Radish continues to defy expectations. It's almost like the defensive Morgan Geeky this year. He's getting put in the spot on top power play. And like, it's not even just the top power play. He's doing it at even strength too. He's getting all these minutes. He's firing a ton of shots on net. He's just doing things. Have you guys seen his picture, by the way? When my buddy put up, Darren Radish got all these points, he put up the hat trick the other day. I sent him a picture of his face and I said, can you believe that this is happening? Because I can't. The bald eagle has struck again. Brian, talk to me here.
The bald eagle. He's trying to mirror himself after the Eggman, maybe. Yeah, I'm giving this a C-. I'm not doing this. I think Josh Morris has a lot more upside than Darren Radish, as hot as Radish has been. Maybe a Norris Trophy winner. No, I'm joking. But Radish also, there is the possibility that he might not be power play 1. I think he is just about a lock on power play 1 when Hedman comes back, but I can't see him keeping up that production, whereas I see Morrissey only going up from wherever Winnipeg is. They're not in the basement. They're below the house. They're not doing so well, and I think they're going to pick it up. Morrissey will be a big part of that.
Love that. Ryan?
Yeah, I'm with you both. I really wanted to give this a B- or a B. I was like trying to make it happen and maybe looking at the fantasy playoff schedule or the remaining games, and I just couldn't make it happen. Right now, like these both, I think Radish is like the top 9th defenseman, and Morrissey might be the top 10th. So like you're only moving up one rank, and Radish is getting the absolute ceiling right now, and Morrissey is pretty much at his floor. So if anything changes, you're going to lose the trade. So I can't do this trade.
Ryan, maybe you can help me out here because I'm looking at the current odds for the Norris Trophy winner, and Darren Radish is only plus 10,000, which let me give you some guys that he's ahead of right now. Dahlin, Jake Sanderson, Adam Fox, I don't know, were his odds like plus like 50,000, only a little bit ago? Like, was it before the hat trick? I don't know.
Yeah. There's going to be one person who votes for Darren Radish, probably the guy who voted for Marcus Foligno for the Selke. He's going to vote Darren Radish for the Norris.
I might sprinkle something on that. Trade number 8 here, APL setting, giving away Jesper Bratt and Jake Sanderson and receiving Matthew Tkachuk and Darren Radish. So we're getting into the Darren Radish trades here. And Brian.
Yeah. I'm giving this a C+. We just talked about Darren Radish. As great as he has been, I don't see it continuing through the rest of the year. And if you're going to look to get Matthew Tkachuk, you don't really know what kind of player he's going to be when he comes back. He plays a very physical game. We don't know if he's going to be a little more tentative, saving his best for the playoffs, which he does. Obviously, he does really well in the playoffs. So I think you're giving away Bratt, who is at his floor, like we talked about. There's a lot more upside there. Same with Sanderson, actually. Sanderson has picked it up recently, a couple points here or there, but he did just go through a really cold stretch. And I think Sanderson is a lock on that top power play. I think Ottawa's offense can also pick it up, and I think he's going to be a big part of that. So I think you're giving away way too much with too many question marks associated around the trade. So I'm holding on to Brad and Sanderson.
Right?
Yeah. I'm in agreement here. I think the Sanderson to Radish comparison is pretty much exactly the same as the Morrissey to Radish comparison. Sanderson is right there as like the 11th guy, and he's pretty much at his floor. So in terms of just looking at Sanderson for Radish, that's a C or a C minus. And then, to be honest, I'd rather have Bratt over Matt Kachuk. So I'm giving this a C plus. Matt Kachuk, there's just too many question marks for a guy who hasn't played yet.
A lot of hate on Matthew Kachuk here. I'm gonna revisit this when he starts blowing up. So I'm gonna give this a B minus. I would not make the trade, but I can see an avenue to where it could work. I am much more of a believer in Matthew Kachuk. I think Matthew Kachuk is worth quite a bit more than Jesper Bratt at this point. We haven't seen him play, so there's that concern. But as a player, like if we expect him to be who he is, he's going to be worth a lot more than Matthew Kachuk. Now, Jake Sanderson, I think, to me, is a little bit less than Morrissey. I know that's kind of maybe a spicy take because Jake Sanderson does like a lot of the peripheral stuff really well, and he's kind of fallen off a little bit here, expecting him to rebound. But I think this is a good jumping off point for Darren Radish. If I am a Darren Radish owner, if there's anybody coming to me with some wild offers, I'm definitely considering it. Like I would sell Darren Radish for like a more stable defenseman. Like, I don't know, like you guys, like, would you trade like Darren Radish 1-for-1 for like, Miguel Sergachev, Sanderson, Morrissey, any of those guys? I think I would.
Not Sanderson, not Morrissey, maybe Sergachev.
Well, no, like we would trade Radish for
trade Radish for them.
Sorry. I want Morrissey. Yeah. The only person I would think about trading the other way around, whatever I'm trying to say, is Sergachev.
I think I would trade Darren Radish for any, I would say, the top like 12-ish fantasy defensemen with solidified role and power play time, only because I am concerned when Hedman comes back, what's going to happen to him, and this crazy production is not going to sustain. So I certainly, defensemen are at such a premium in most leagues. If you can trade Darren Radish for a top level defenseman, I definitely would. All right. Finishing up here, we're kind of running long in the tooth, gentlemen. Fantasy hockey court. Who's getting taken today, Ryan?
Yeah, so this guy looks way too happy to be taken to court for prosecution. But we got Philip Forsberg being brought to the stand, and I am prosecuting Mr. Philip Forsberg for ruining some of my fantasy teams so far and giving me no hope for the future with Philip Forsberg. So that's what you're being charged with, Philip Forsberg. And here's my case. So first of all, you have a very pretty mustache. I gotta hand it to you there. But that's about all the nice things I could say about you, because you are on a 61-point pace, which is a lot lower than all of our expectations who drafted you in the second round. And I believe Brian and I were both really, really high on Philip Forsberg, to the point where we were chirping guys who took Mikko Rantanen 12th. Yeah. And Evan, I believe in one of our episodes, you were saying, okay, guys, yeah, I hear you, but who would you take over Mikko Rantanen in the 12th spot? And I think we both said Philip Forsberg. We're eating those words right now. And yeah, so Philip Forsberg, he is on a 61-point pace with only 1 power play goal and 8 power play points. So that'll put him on a pace of 15 power play points. Last year, he had 26. The year before, he had 32. You might look at that and be like, oh, well, he must rebound on the power play the rest of the season. But he went from having the 70% time on ice share last season to now having a 56% time on ice share in Nashville. And it looks like Nashville is happy to spread things around and not have Philip Forsberg as their primary guy anymore, on the power play at least. Even strength, things look pretty similar, except his shots and scoring rates have gone down, and the on-ice stuff has gone down as well. The even strength numbers, his shooting percentage is still high. Like, that's not something to regress. The on-ice shooting percentage is, what was it? I don't have it right here, but I believe it was similar to last season. So I'm prosecuting Philip Forsberg. I am not expecting him to return to his 75 point pace. I would expect I honestly expect this the rest of the season. 60 point pace, not a lot coming from the power play, and he'll provide you peripherals, but just shots, hits. Don't expect the points to come. So, Forsberg, you are prosecuted. I hope you hired a good defense lawyer.
Well, the defense lawyer they had is out of town, so you got me. Now, here's the thing. I did actually get off the phone with Barry Trotz earlier today, and I asked him about Philip Forsberg. I was like, hey, listen, like I said literally the exact same thing you just said, Ryan. I said to him, I was like, what's going on with Philip Forsberg? And he said to me, very simple, he said, Brian, trust me, bro. And I'm like, can you give me more? He goes, no, trust me, bro. So for that, I'm thinking to myself, okay, things might get a little better. And then I started digging into things a little more in Philip Forsberg. And yeah, right now it's not looking great. The biggest thing I'm seeing is shot volume has actually gone down. He was shooting, 3.43 shots per game last year. This season, it's just under 3, but he's hitting more. So he's getting involved. The point production is down. We talked about that. But I'm looking at on the season, he's averaging 0.74 points per game. And over the last month, it actually went up. So it's 0.86. Right now, it's down a little bit. Last year, looking at Forsberg, he had a very slow start. He picked up towards the end. And I have no reason to doubt him that he won't pick it up towards the end of the year. Right now, we're also seeing a national team that has spread the offense around, and it's working. But here's the thing about the National Hockey League. As players start scoring, the opposing teams will address those players in practices when they review game film and everything like that. So if they start focusing on someone like Stamkos or Evangelista, who's scoring a lot, those scoring chances are going to go away. And as a result, the very talented Philip Forsberg is going to find ways to put it into the net. So don't even need to dig into metrics too far to know that Philip Forsberg is going to pick it up towards the end of the year. He is their best player, and the coach would be a fool not to give him more opportunity. And as a result, I think Philip Forsberg is going to pick it up. He might not finish with the same amount of points as last year, but the pace will definitely come up from here.
All right.
Mic drop.
Can I get in another word, Judge?
Well, of course.
So yeah, just the defense mentions that some other guys will get more attention, and then Forsberg will be putting the puck in the net some more. Well, Forsberg only had 31 goals last year. He actually had a lot more assists. He had 45 assists to get his points up to 76. He's on pace for 31 goals again. So he's still putting the puck in the net. It's the assists that have gone down, and a lot of them coming from the power play, which he's just not getting the ice time anymore. So to be honest, like all of his even strength numbers are the same as last year, goals, assists. The power play points are coming down, and I just don't trust the bro in Barry Trotz to say, yeah, I'm gonna make sure Forsberg gets the 70% share again, rather than splitting things up, especially if Nashville becomes a seller, and they're gonna want to see what they have with Evangelista, if he's a real piece on their team, or Fedor Svechkov, or some other young guys. I don't trust him, bro.
Yeah. Okay, bro. Let me respond. Here's the thing, though. If they do become a seller, they sell off those pieces that are putting up points. Let's say they have a split power play. It's not working. Once they sell off those pieces, they're not going to have an option aside from running more with the top power play with Philip Forsberg, because the fans are also paying money to go see games. They expect goals. And if the team starts not putting in goals, putting pucks in the net, they're going to be like, what the heck's going on? It's all part of the system. The GM is going to talk to the coach. The coach is going to talk to players, and they're going to have a game plan to make sure Philip Forsberg is getting more points, because that's what the fans come for. So I think you can trust in bro Philip Forsberg, and I think he's going to do something a little more for us. And on the other side of it, I have to trust in him because I drafted him. I need it.
Very, very good arguments, gentlemen. I think maybe you both will agree. I think that this verdict really, to me, hinges on if Nashville becomes sellers or not, to be honest. And I think seller of one person in particular, because if they sell off Ryan O'Reilly, who is the only true center on that team, I think, unfortunately, Philip Forsberg will be guilty. I don't really have the faith that he's going to bounce back like he did last year, strictly because of the fact that they're sellers. That team is starting to spread around a little bit more, and it's working. And I think with it working like that, they want to see what their young pieces have. I also think Nashville has a huge right wing problem. They have way too many right-handed right wing players: Stamkos, Marchessault, Forsberg, Evangelista. They have very few left-handed players, and I feel like that is like an issue, especially on their power play. As much as I love the man, Philip Forsberg, and he has been a fantasy gem for many years, I think, unfortunately, this year he is guilty.
No. I'm going to get fired from my job here, guys. I think I'm 0 for 2 on the defense.
Yeah, you're the backup.
Yeah.
Interesting piece of Forsberg in the APL Tier 1. I recently tried to trade Forsberg and Fantilli for Tage Thompson, and the undefeated manager, who's 13-0 in Tier 1, rejected it.
Shocker. Sounds like a smart guy.
Pretty fair trade.
Real quick before we wrap up here, guys, you got some last comments. I love all the comments. The guy who dropped Markstrom picked up Jordan Binnington for the start today. That's a tough look, even though it is against the Blackhawks. These games in the Central for Blackhawks and Blues tend to be kind of high scoring.
What do you mean? He's got a shutout right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The game just started.
20
Blues
seconds
are up
into the game.
1-0.
Yeah.
Sell high on Wyatt Johnston with his 24 power play points. Yes, if you can get a really good return. I'm interested to hear you guys. I sold Wyatt Johnston, not for 1-for-1, but a big part of it was for Sidney Crosby.
Nice. I
kind of like
Yeah,
that.
I would do that.
My one friend was also talking about doing Wyatt Johnston for Jack Hughes, which I also would really like. Let's see here. Would you guys be trying to acquire Lafreniere with him being PP2 line 2?
Nope.
No. Yeah,
Nope.
no. Is there a resounding no? Okay. Would you guys take Brock Nelson for Jesper Bratt? No.
No.
Absolutely not.
Definitely not.
Kadri.
I mean,
Trade Kadri for Leo Carlson? Absolutely yes.
Yeah.
yep.
And then I think this is
This
the
is
last one, Tommy.
speed comments. There's
Speed
no explanation needed.
I need big help. Should I trade Wyatt and Rantanen plus Radish for McKinnon and some rest, knowing that I have McDavid and Cooch? Yahoo settings. Wow. Wyatt and Rantanen plus Radish for McKinnon? I think so. Yeah, I think I would. I mean, he has to drop 2 people that I can pick up for the 3-for-1. If I put Chikrin, I can get Dahlin in the trade. That's really kind of interesting. 12-man league. So I don't know that I do the Chikrin for Dahlin, but Wyatt, Rantanen, and Radish for McKinnon, I think I mean, he already has McDavid and Cooch. If you add McKinnon to that mix, I don't know. I think I would do it. I don't know, Ryan. You're kind of torn here. It looks like.
Yeah, I would do it as long as the league doesn't go to the end of the season, because last year McKinnon wasn't really injured, but he didn't play the final 2, maybe 3 games. And what you could be looking at in the last 2 or 3 games is McDavid, McKinnon, and Kucherov all resting before the playoffs, which would just lose you the finals. So I don't know. It depends when your finals are.
Yeah.
Fair point.
That's a lot.
As much as a big Dallas fan I am, like, we've kind of seen it now in the past 10 games how Dallas has fallen off a little bit, being too top heavy and, really relying on those top guys to produce. And I also think people like Dallas has a good playoff schedule, but the strength of the schedule is hard. Like, they play some really good teams in their playoff schedule. So I don't know. I think if you can get Nathan McKinnon for Rantanen, and I mean, I'm really not counting Radish, even though you can, Wyatt Johnston and Rantanen, I think the price is right there. That's like a end of first / early second rounder and like a 5th rounder for a number 1 overall pick. I think you can rationalize that in your head. But I think that's it, guys. We ran pretty long here. Brian, you want to take us home?
Yeah.
Good to be back together, though. It had to be this long.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we get to the outro, just wanted to let everyone know that you should join the Discord community. Make sure you like, rate, review, subscribe, comment, leave us all the stuff. We all love it. Send us a couple more trades. We love doing the trades. Obviously, that's why we're here every week. And we really do appreciate your time. So that's all we've got for this episode. Hopefully it brought you some value and helped you get a little bit better at fantasy hockey today. Many thanks to Matt Creamer there for supplying the music for the podcast. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.